Hi fellow traders, I'm analyzing Australian dollar today, and if you have watched my previous video, we had traded this wedge pattern to the downside, and we had entered sell position and we successfully reached our target. Then Australian dollar even fell further to the downside, and it retraced to the upside up to the 61.8% retracement level against this fall from this top to this bottom. This is the 61.8% retracement level against this fall. And then Australian dollar started falling again, and this is when we got a bearish context, but we'll have to understand the fall in line with economic events. So let's go to 1 hour time frame. This fall was caused by Fed statement recently, but this couldn't make Australian dollar to continue the fall. So it started going up and it has taken a shape of rectangle. Market is moving sideways. After poor employment figure from Australia today, it started falling again, but it took support again at the same area where it has already taken support, and again it started going to the upside and is still staying in the sideways range. So the condition of Australian dollar right now is pretty indecisive, and we'll have to figure out whether or not Australian dollar will break out to the downside. If it breaks to the downside, then there will be a bearish setup. So if it breaks to the downside, let's figure out which type of how will we enter the sell position and where will be our exit points. For this purpose, let's go to the 4 hour time frame. So if it breaks to the downside, there will be a ABCD formation where this point will be the A, B, this will be the C, and D will be either made at 127.2% of this retracement, or D will be made at the Fibonacci extension 100%, which is just AB equals CD. For example, if we plot this line, this is just AB equals CD level. Okay, but it's not necessary that market will make ABCD in style of AB equals CD. Even if it goes up to 127.2% extension of the recent retracement, that is the BC, ABCD formation will be said to be completed. So the minimum target can be this 127.2 area, which is 67.20 area, and this 67.20 area is also coinciding with the significant support level, that is 61.8% retracement level of recent swing on the daily time frame. This is the recent swing from this bottom to this top, and this 61.8% is coinciding with 127.2 of this recent upward retracement. So this is for the bears, and our stop loss and take profit will be something like this. Let me explain you on 4 hour time frame. Maybe when and 1 hour candle will close 10 pips or 8 pips below this lower border of the rectangle, we'll consider this to be breakout and we'll enter the position. So our position will be something around 8 pips below the lower border. So lower border is 68.33. Let's assume that it is going to break to the downside, and we are going to take position something around 68.25. So in this case, our stop loss and take profit will be something like this. 68.25 is the entry point. Our take profit will give us something around 104 minus spread, so something around 102 pips, and our stop loss should we should not place stop loss, rather we should wait for any candle closing above this rectangle, 1 hour candle. So upper border of the rectangle is 69.21, and if a candle closes maybe 8 or 10 pips above this, then it will close something around 69.29. so our pips on the risk, total pips on the risk, will be something around 105 pips. So this is equal risk to reward. Something 100 pips, something around 100 pips is on the risk and 100 pips is on the reward side. There is no big difference. Something like 1:1 risk reward is what we are going to get in this sell trade. So this is okay, we can take this sell trade in case of the breakout to the downside. Now let's talk about what's going to happen on Monday when RBA Governor Philip Lowe is going to speak. Recently, if we look at the Australian stock market was not significantly bearish, but it was not bullish either. So it was gradually, or you can say slightly bearish in recent days. Also, the unemployment figure actually influenced the market, and unemployment figure is also poor, which is bad for the Australian economy. after these two things, I don't I assume that the Philip Lowe will not have any good economic factor to be hawkish on. So he will most probably be either neutral or slightly dovish, which will further lead to fall in Australian dollar. So let's see what happens on Monday morning, but we'll have to be ready for this breakout. But in case if he stays very firm, his tone is very stable, firm, and kind of even if neutral, Australian dollar can rise, because already Australian dollar has been in uptrend for many days, and recent nature of Australian dollar is also showing that Australian dollar is reluctant to fall further, because you saw that after Fed statement it fell down, took support, and it did not continue to the downside. It started going up again, moving sideways. After today's unemployment figure, again fell down, but again took support at the same area. So this is showing that the Australian dollar is really reluctant to further fall. So anything which will support Australian dollar, maybe neutral or neutral, firm, or maybe a slightly hawkish tone from Philip Lowe, that will give enough bullish force to Australian dollar to break to the upside rather than breaking to the downside. If it breaks to the upside, we'll rather take buy position instead of thinking of any further fall. So our style of entry to the upside, to the bullish side, will be the same. So our buy entry will be something around, let's say, 8-7 pips above this area. So 69, 27, 28 will be our entry, and we will exit the trade in case of market falls and closes below this rectangle. So our stop loss will be again something around 100 pips, and take profit. Market can go up to the previous top, but we'll not wait for the top. We'll just take the similar number of pips and we will exit. So we can place our take profit something around this area with 100 pips, 100 or 105 pips profit. So something around 70-37, 70-35 is where we will place our TP. We'll not place a stop loss, rather we'll wait for the candle closing below this lower bar of the rectangle to figure out our exiting the position in the loss. So that's all about the Australian dollar now, and let's see which side we get the breakout. So thank you for watching. That's all.